my name's Lauren, also known as Brightest Witch Bricks, and this is what I've called Welcome to Azkaban. And really, it all started with me army building Dementors since basically 2018 when this figure came out. I currently have over 600 in my collection, but I really wanted almost a vehicle to show them off at something like a convention like this. And I've displayed a Hall of Prophecies before, and I like going big. And so I really thought a large-scale Azkaban would be a really great thing to build and show them off with. I just had the vision of them swirling around the tower, and I started from there. And so really, I started with just an equilateral triangle of bricks and worked from there. Lego does not like 60-degree angles, which is what equilateral triangles have. So figuring out the sharp corners was part of the build. It's not, one of the most challenging parts of the build. It's not very straightforward or strong, but it's held together by 2 studs and a prayer. So, each side. So I did need a gap just for strength, but overall it really achieved the look I was going for. The ridges as well, where I was really proud of, as well as the rocks going right up into the center gap. Then I went ahead and did the waves just to frame the building, just to take up more space, really draw people in, and just a lot of fun, transparent, and earth blue. Luckily, the 2x4s were on PAB and pick a brick, so my Lego store saw a lot of me that week, and really making sure that I had areas for lights. This is Light My Bricks 2.0, that they have a new effects light that had lightning, and which is what I also saw to take it to the next level. But the waves were just a technique I found online of the plate and 1x1 round cylinder piece, and I just kind of went from there to recolor it and what I wanted to, and the people really love that. The waves and the Dementors have been the stars of the build, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm super proud. This is the first time I'm even seeing this 100% built, because I didn't bother putting on all the Dementors and the clear rods and the clear pieces before bringing it to Chicago to have it completely built. I also have a display table with the swirling Dementors on top that I tried to frame. That's strong enough to hold. But yeah, it's been a great time. The Easter eggs are Luma from Mario. Life is sad, prison is sad. Batman, and then some Cornish pixies as well around. And then, of course, I have Bellatrix on the other side, blasting out in green. But yeah, that's about it. But it's been such a great con, and I'm so happy to represent Harry Potter at this scale, when a lot of times you don't see as much Harry Potter as you used to at these cons. So really, really proud to represent.
Yeah, especially this scene from Harry Potter, I've never seen anybody do on this larger scale. So how did you factor in kind of attaching all these minifigures as the build was coming together and kind of figuring out how you would get all those to stick on there?
I did, as I was making the triangle, as a big gray triangle, as I called it, I did have to work in snot bricks as I go in. So I had to plan for it. And so getting the angle right, and that's why it's probably a little bit taller than I meant for, because I wanted it to complete a full 360 swirl above. And so I tried to make those angles consistent. But yeah, those had to be planned. But I knew I could also just put on a plate or a tile if I needed to cover up any that I didn't use. But I was able to fit quite a few of the clear rods, also on PAB, thank goodness. I did have to plan for those to go up. And I also planned for having small groups outside of the swirl just for some dimension.
Yeah. And you mentioned these waves here, which are just such a fun effect. So talk about some of the elements you used to create those and how structurally those kind of came together.
Yeah, the waves are just the 1x2 tile in alternating earth blue and transparent blue, dark blue also known, and the 1x1 cylinder round brick, and just alternating colors every other. And it actually folds flat. It's super, I think a lot of people have used this technique to create curves of towers, etc. But I used it to create waves, and I really just made belts of them, of different thickness and lengths. And I really just played around with the waves breaking with the clear studs and clear plates as well at the ends to just show that dimension. Further in the back of the build. And I just layered them to try and give a little dynamic and depth of the waves. But I did not expect the public's reaction to those and fellow builders of just like, those waves, man. And I'm like, they were honestly a last minute addition, but thank you. They're not studded in. I really just have them lent up against the rockwork and the just sitting in a little gap a crevice I made for them in the water, in the top of the water.
Yeah. So you mentioned how fragile the large gray triangle can be. So what was your process of bringing this to the show and kind of getting it set up here at the show?
Part of when you know you want to show a mock at a convention, you know what you have to build it to, and you know what your car is, or if you're going to rent a car or a U-Haul. I drive a Mini Cooper, and so that certainly led to me having to plan. It breaks down, the triangle itself breaks down in 3 sections, and I measured just so that I could see out the back window of my car to be safe. And so I legitimately stopped the build there, the first part of the base, which is about here. And then the second one is right above the ridge. And then the last is just the roof. And then I did also learn some woodworking. There is a wooden triangle platform to be able to hold the weight of this. But each rock piece is separate, breaks off, held on with Technic pins and structure pieces. And then all of the water is mills, so it really breaks down and goes into a Tupperware container like easily.
Yeah, perfect. So do you know the total piece count or the height of the build now at this point?
I don't really know the height at this point. I'm sorry. Just under 400 Dementors I was able to fit on.
Okay.
And then I think I might have already said that. And then the piece count, I'm thinking ballpark 10 to 15,000 pieces. Not as many pieces as I was planning, but like when I added up all my Bricklink and Pick-a-Brick orders, but a decent build overall. I think I have a tape measure, but it's tall enough.
Yes, for sure. So are there more plans with your Dementor army that you've built now in the future? Do you hope to incorporate those into other builds?
I think I'm good, but what I would like to do is keep this as it is and do a play scale and maybe a little mini scale to show together of an Azkaban and have the Dementors going around a play scale. I have 200 more I can work with. I think my army building days are going to cool off for budget reasons, but I'm good. I think this is a good number to have, and I'm stoked that they are shown off and they're such a fan favorite today.
Mm-hmm. I also love the sign you made here, which is just a really fun addition to the layout.
Yeah, I'm friends with a lot of content creators, and they had some fun acrylic stand signs from last year, and I thought this would be a really fun addition to when you go to a convention and you want to display. Sometimes you just want to create a vibe at your table, mm-hmm. and I really just wanted to do that as something fun and creative to go along with the build.
Yeah. Fantastic work here. Thank you so much for taking us through the whole display. Keep up the great work.
Thanks for talking with me today.